Good evening and welcome to Richfield High School. My name is Chad Armbruster and I direct the bands here. I'm very excited to present lots of great music, result of really hardworking students all around you. And we're going to keep things moving as quickly as possible, so I made some notes about each tune that you can read in those goldenrod programs that also work as fans I'm seeing up here in the front. Yeah, we got the air conditioning up as much as we can, and we all have shade. So thanks for joining us on this steamy spring night in celebration of all these students. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are located on the ancestral land of the Dakota people, who have lived on and cared for the land since time immemorial. Indigenous nations have a long history of stewardship and preservation of the local area. We are grateful for the guardianship of these lands, which hold historical, spiritual, and personal significance to the Dakota people. Thank you. And now, here's Can Slam. Okay, as we're getting set for the Spartan Band to join the percussion studio, just a word about the performance you just saw from Alex and Aiden. Every student in all of our performance groups performed some type of small ensemble, whether it be a solo or a duet or trio. And some of those were performed in class, some of those were recorded for me. And we ended up going on 7 different field trips to our elementary schools and middle schools and had a chance to connect and bring music into those buildings as a reward for all the hard work that these students did in their small groups. And 28 of our Symphonic Wind students and Alex and Aiden participated in the Minnesota State High School League Region Solo and Ensemble Contest. And everybody performed really, really well. And that was a big part of our work together in between these last 2 concerts. So can we get another round of applause for Alex and Aiden? All right, yeah, so as you see percussion studio friends moving about back there, we tried to get everybody performing on drum set. Throughout the school year, we get to play drums every day. And yeah, a lot of the percussion studio students will be seen by drum sets this evening. If you're in the light booth and you have the opportunity to provide more light to the back of the stage, that would be awesome. We're going to cheer on Mr. Edwards. That's awesome. Yeah, better. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edwards. All right, we have one more here with the Spartan Band before the percussion studio plays another one. Here in a little while, we're going to hear a premiere piece of music written for the Symphonic Winds. And when those students in Symphonic Winds shared some of the songs that they wanted us to try to emulate the most, this next one, Into the Storm, was one of the ones that everybody thought would be cool. Just a lot of energy, and the Spartan Band is doing great with this. So congrats to Spartan Band on an awesome school year, and they're going to play Into the Storm. Let's give another round of applause for the percussion studio. Too much applause to hear the bird call. Anybody hear it out there? Yeah, we worked on the bird call, and that's what we were following. We were following the yellow bird, but audience, too raucous out there. Thank you for the joyous applause in honor of these amazing students. The percussion studio, as you notice, they have to learn a lot of things quickly, and then we get like 1 or 2 times to put it together, and then it's showtime. So, nice job. We're gonna get this symphonic winds group going. They have 4 pieces for you guys. The first is called Everest. I think I wrote a little story in there about the composer being at a restaurant and having just a great time and thinking, wow, this food is good enough to write a song about. And then dedicated it to the chef. Like, figured out who the chef was and wrote that in the program notes to shout out the chef of Everest, which is in Chicago. There's this big music convention every year. International musicians all over the world come to Chicago, Illinois around the holiday time. And Jacob DeHaan, the composer of this first piece, was at that convention having dinner at Everest. It's on the 40th floor, I believe, of a big building. How am I doing on time, filler? Okay. Hey, these guys are playing some really challenging repertoire, and I'm excited for you to hear it. And they're also very skilled, independent thinkers and movers, and you are seeing that right now in action. They have no stage hands, there's no set crew. We have Noah. All right, we hope you enjoy Everest. All right, this next one's called Haven Dance. It is quite a piece of music. I started counting and stopped counting at 90 different time signature changes. 90. There's like 200 and I don't know how many measures. It's a piece that college level literature. I was teaching a CIS band class at another high school. They had that. This was on our list. We had to do this for kids to get their CIS credit. It was a different place, different time. But these guys are doing a really good job with Haven Dance, and we hope you enjoy it. All right, another big tune right there, nice job. The next piece we're going to do is the first time this piece has ever been performed. And these students played a big part in putting it together. They all made lists of things that they've been through in high school, and we weighted that on largely this year's graduating class to get some of their thoughts and some of the pieces that they enjoyed, to try to get a style and then pass that off to a composer to have a piece written just for them. And through some of those conversations and some of those individual handwritten notes, I compiled that and sent it off to a composer who made this piece of music out of it, taking what a lot of students up here mentioned. They wanted to lift up the school mascot of the Spartan and learn a little bit more about what that is and how that became the celebrated mascot here in this community. And then there were some feelings and ideas that came through that weren't always super cheerful and happy. But through all of that, students are definitely in lots and lots of ways carrying through, and they're going to leave this place in a better place than they found it. So we're going to perform this tonight for the first time, and then we're going to put together this recording so it can be performed at graduation with a lot more of the seniors' voices included, so we can do some editing, because there's some spoken word that we included. And tonight this is happening for the first time with a narrator. B is here and going to lead us as the narrator. Could you please welcome B. Jonesman? B. Youngsma is going to join us on stage. B. Youngsma.
More than 2,000 years ago, a man named Sikalos carved a message into stone. Not just words, but music. It was a song celebrating life left behind so the world would remember. This is a message that still resonates with us, the class of 2025. As long as you live, shine. We must not forget the darkness we have navigated along this journey. Uncertainty, disconnection, burnout, social pressure, distractions, confusion. brave, we rose, we moved forward. We embraced our diversity, we found confidence. We reached out and gave back to our community. We found our voice. An ancient philosopher, offers us timeless guidance that resonates with us today. These are words we can carry with us. Do not let one's tongue outrun one's sense. Learn how to regulate one's own house well. Prefer punishment to disgraceful gain, for the one is painful but once, but the other for one's whole life. Do not make too much haste on one's road. Do not laugh at a person in misfortune. We are not who we were when we began. We have adapted. We are Spartans, tested, tempered, and transformed. Our day of light has come, and just as Sikolos did over 2,000 years ago, we leave behind a message. As long as you live, shine.
Welcome back. We have a lot of amazing students up here, and we want to try to do our best to acknowledge a very special group of seniors that are going to be graduating here shortly, in just a couple of weeks. And the way I'd like to start this is by calling each senior up to me to get a certificate that's signed by Principal Collins and myself. And then I'll have you guys move over to that side of the stage and we'll make a row of amazing seniors. So no need to hold your applause to the end. Jace Bush. Pedro Cabrera Ochoa. Oh, Pedro. Over here. By Jace. Yeah. Izzy Davila Simeon. Craig Edwards. Josie Epler. Ellie Gasik. Jessica Guevara Tezaquita. Ty Helmanak. B. Youngsma. Hunter Madison. Cameron Spencer. Kaylee Straka. Jonas Taylor. And Dylan Verstrate. Okay, there they are. And it's me over here. I want to say thank you. For a lot of you guys, I saw you every single day of high school. I was a freshman with you, and some of you guys I saw multiple times every single day of high school. If there was another band class to register for a different teacher, I know you would have. But it kept saying arm rooster, and you continued to do this for many reasons. And I want you all to know how much I appreciate you, how proud I am of you, and how excited I am for you all to get on out of here and do some more great things. between school and this concert, I went home. My 3-year-old was eating paint. And my 8-year-old, no joke, he did not flush. And we're working on both those things. So this was not meant to be comedy. Where I'm going is all you moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and brothers and sisters and caregivers, you did a great job. Could we get all those folks I mentioned, mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, could you all stand if you know one of these people up here on the stage, and maybe we'll get a little house light and give us a chance to thank all of you guys. Right, and you may be seated, seniors. You may find where you were just moments ago. We've got a couple other awards to present. And then we're going to get out into the commons and hear a lot of these seniors play some jazz here into the warm spring night. Band programs throughout the United States present the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award each year in recognition of outstanding musical achievement, with a specific emphasis on jazz, musicianship, character, and individual creativity. This year's Richfield High School recipient of the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award is Hunter Madison. Band programs throughout the United States present the John Philip Sousa Award each year. This award recognizes achievement and interest in instrumental music for singular merit in loyalty and for displaying the high qualities of conduct that school instrumental music programs require. This year's Richfield High School recipient of the John Philip Sousa Award is Jonas Taylor. Okay, there are 2 additional individual recognitions that are given out each year. The Michael O'Hagan Memorial Award was created by the O'Hagan family in 2002. Michael was a young student here who passed away, and the family wanted to create this award to lift up a graduating senior. And very significantly, this year, a number of alumni who know the family made a very large donation. And so this award is going to be connected with an annual $2,000 scholarship starting this year. So that goes... So that is connected through the Spartan Foundation, and that award will be presented to one of our 2025 band seniors at the upcoming Spartan Award ceremony, so stay tuned to that. I am not that important, whoever laughed. Far more important people will be making these decisions. Additionally, there's another Spartan Foundation scholarship in memory of Jenny Sandel, and she was a member of our marching band, and we've been presenting this award each year at our end of the year potluck or banquet awards ceremony, however we end up doing it at the end of the marching season. And this award is also going to be attached this year to the Spartan Foundation with another scholarship. So we'll stay tuned on those two awards and the scholarships that are tied to both those students. Jenny passed away in 2001 and Mike passed away in 2002. One of our counselors, Sarah Lindy, started in 2000, so she lived through both of those really unfortunate deaths, and she's going to be there to present that award because she's also retiring this year, and she knows both Jenny and Mike's family, so be thinking of Sarah and those award recipients. Okay, one last one. I want to welcome Anne to the stage. Anne has been our booster president this year. Give it up for Anne. And as soon as Anne is done, that's the cue for the lights, and the jazz is going to start as soon as possible, and we've got lemonade, and we need help eating the cookies. And this is me signing off and thanking everybody, and then I'll see you out there for the jazz. Along with Anne, I want to thank Katie Epler, who's been operating the boosters throughout the past several years. Not sure if Katie's here, but if you are, if you could wave. Katie? Hello? Katie's here. Okay. Thank you. Here's Anne.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you on the stage for a great performance tonight. I met the Haven Dance in college, and so I'm pretty excited that you got to meet it early. That's pretty cool. So my name is Ann Hagan. I'm the president of the Richfield Music Boosters. We support the music programs in all of our schools. We raise scholarship funds, as we're about to discuss. We help out our community. 2 weeks ago, we participated in the citywide food drive and helped collect tens of thousands of pounds of food for VEEP. And we welcome your involvement. So band parents, we have more choir parents participating in the boosters right now than band parents, so let's come see me. I'm gonna be the one handing out the cookies, so I'm gonna be easy to find. The scholarships I'm about to give out can be used for any educational expense at a post-secondary institution. You'll get a letter explaining how to do this. We do scholarships every year, so if you're feeling generous, we welcome your donations to our scholarship fund. You can find us on Facebook. Again, I'll be at the cookies, and so walk slowly, because I gotta run out of here, go get those cookies ready for y'all. And so tonight we have 2 scholarships, and I'm delighted to award them to Jonas Taylor. And their second scholarship is going to go, and I should point out that the scholarship committee did not include this person's parent who's been very active, but Josie Epler, come on down. Thank you all so much. Congratulations on a wonderful year.